Good evening, race fans. Welcome to the Core Racing Network. Tonight, the Redline Racing Gen 4 Series is considered it to be one of the homes of NASCAR and a lot of racing here at the Charlotte Motor Speedway. A nice little 1.5 mile quad oval here, and these guys can really open it up. And there's a lot of times where you're going to see some multi-lane racing. I think that's what you're going to see here tonight. The guys out there just finishing up practice here. But we're going to have 70 laps on tap here, and you see it's a little toasty out there right now. Temperature 104 degrees, but the track temperature is actually, the track temperature 105 degrees. The weather outside only 79. So it might be a little hot and slick for these guys in the beginning, but we'll see how they handle it. Handling the booth for me here tonight is Mark Thomas. Mark, how's it going tonight, buddy? It wouldn't be a broadcast here without some SDK issues, so just trying to get that fixed up here for you guys and do that before the racing gets underway. But in the meantime, I'm going to bring in our in-race report here tonight, and that is going to be driver of the 54, Paul Owens. So let me get him up here right now, and Mark, I'll let you go ahead and interview the driver here of the 54. And before we let you go, Paul, anybody you want to give a shout out to or thanks to? And we appreciate you. Good luck out there on the track, and maybe we'll talk to you again after the race. All right, that is the driver of the 54, Paul Owens, and he mentioned the point standings, that he's not really running too much for the point standings here, but we'll bring up the standings here in a second as soon as they want to work here for me as well. Yeah, no, it's this one's OBS. There we go. So point standings up there right now, and you see top of the boards with the win is Daniel Wiles, as he is up by only 2 points over Cody Lunger in second. Travis Wells, Lance Brantlinger, and Dakota Cleland making up your top 5. So a nice, a nice spread of points right there. After the first couple races, these guys are, all within a decent amount. Obviously, 2 races in, so not too much, at stake quite yet. These guys are planning on having an 8-race regular season and potentially playoffs. We'll get into that as it gets a little bit closer, and these guys make a decision on that. But as of right now, it is Daniel Wiles at the top with that win, and he's got 2 for 2 with top 5s. And coming from the first couple races being what they are, obviously Daytona with the opener, that's always a crapshoot, plain and simple. But I mean, so far so good with 2 top 5s. Only other person with 2 top 5s is the guy in second there, and that is Cody Lunger. So We'll see how these guys do out on the track right now, and we will bring up your qualifying right now. And currently top of the boards, as he was top of the boards in practice too, is Mike Moultrie Jr. Lance Brandlinger in second, only 0.08 of a second off of the pace there. So these guys putting in their lap times are about halfway through qualifying right now. But Mark, you talked to Paul about his strategy. What's your strategy here at Darlington, at Charlotte? See? For me, I mean, it's all kind of feeling out in the first couple laps. Obviously, if I'm qualifying up front, I'm doing the same thing. I want to try and get up there and get as many people behind me as possible. But if not, I'm just kind of riding it out and saving those tires, because tires are going to be a big thing. You're going to be working multiple grooves here. Of course, the bottom is probably going to be your preferred line, and especially in 1 and 2. 1 and 2 has, you know, for iRacing wise, it's got a famed grip spot down at the bottom. You get down there and get those tires down there by the white and blue line right there, as you see the 59 of John Guerra right there. There's there tends to be some extra grip. I don't know if it's the tires just grip better on the paint or what the case is, but they really hook up. And if you can hit that bottom line, you can just rip around the bottom of that track, and that's where you want to be. But again, if you get a long green flag run here, you're definitely gonna have to worry about tires. Qualifying is done, and we'll give you a rundown of the order. On the pole here tonight is going to be the 99, Mike Moultrie Jr. Starting on the outside pole is going to be the 3 of Lance Brandlinger, 2 Chris Martinez, 54 of Paul Owens going to make up your second row. Then you got John Guerra, Larry Johnson, Daniel Wiles, Chris Bendel, Todd Lippincott Jr., and Tony Brennan making up your top 10. Alexander Puig, Chris Muth Jr. is going to be in 12th, and for some reason it never wants to agree with me on this, so we will do it this way. So in 13th is going to be Travis Wells, 14th Cody Lunger, Chris Root in 15th, John O'Brien, TJ Elaine, Aubrey Thompson is going to be in 18th, 19th is Peter Stewart, 20th David Connell, 21st Austin Lunger, 22nd Rob Ormsby, 23rd Dustin Elder, and rounding out your field, shotgun on the field is going to be Brennan Bridges. And you see only 16 guys putting in some times, and it's not surprising here. There's a lot of guys that, you know, kind of like to treat this thing almost like a super speedway, and just really let the field do what it's got to do the first couple laps, and then slowly work their way through the field. But you can get caught up in a big one here, just like you do on a super speedway. So we'll see how everything works out, but it is going to be Moultrie Jr. on the pole right now. Hold on, Mark. all that thought, Mark, it looks like your Discord is once again not working this entire time. That's awesome. So let me get a check again.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm blaming the transfer across the pond. That's got to be what the problem is. But yeah, we got you now, Mark. So apologize to everybody out there and everything that we've gone through so far. It's just working out the kinks here.
You just don't want me here, Carl. That's what it is. You just don't want me here in the booth. I get it.
I like to get you a little fired up. I like to get you a little fired up before the race. You know, get your blood pumping a little bit and you know, get it ready to go. But these guys are these guys are ready to go out here, and again, it's gonna be the 99 and 3 making up your front row. And pace truck lights are out, not wasting any time here. It is gonna be green this time by, so we will turn our sights over here to Barney and wait for the green flag here for the Redline Racing Gen 4 Cup, third race of the season. And green flag is waving. We are racing here at Charlotte. We've been slipping, getting up through the gears for some of these guys.
Yeah, there's a couple of little sideways moments there. I think there'd probably be a couple of clenched buttocks in some seats over there right now.
Doing a good job getting through turns 1 and 2 and heading on down the backstretch here.
With top fall, you know, they've taken single file early and are just trying to gap themselves from the rest of the field. If they can make this happen.
Yeah, good start out here by Moultrie. He's on the point and he's out there to about a half a second lead. Paul Owens is out there in second, but looks like we have our first incident and going to bring out a yellow here on lap 2. Take you back and try and take a look at it. I see the yellow flag. Looks like it might have been Travis Wells here. Yeah, a little bit of a mix-up there, and the 9 gets into the 5 and hard impact into the inside wall, sliding up the track, but luckily an Aaron's machine doesn't collect anybody else, and it doesn't look like too much damage on the front of that car either, so might have got away a little bit unscathed considering how much of an impact on the inside wall that was. But like just kind of a little bit of bunch up in front of him, and really not much he can do. Ends up sliding up a little bit, getting into 5, and that will bring out our first caution of the night. Well, we got a caution here. Just want to thank our series sponsors here of Sam's Tree Service and Shaker's Bar and Grill, as well as our broadcast sponsor of W Energy. If you're going to get any kind of W Energy, make sure you use the code COREDUB to get you some percentage off. That is COREDUB.
Nice. Not tried any yet. It's a bit hard to get over here in the UK. You Americans get all the good stuff. We just get trash.
You do. It's just got to go through Jamaica, New York for a little bit, and, and we all know how your stuff gets held up in Jamaica when it comes over there.
Yeah, that's a little bit of an inside joke for anybody who's listening in the broadcast. At some point, I'm sure we will get to that, but that is a very much an inside joke between myself and Carl over here. Yes, yeah. Although my glass is still here, so I'm counting my blessings.
And it came in one piece, so I guess that's everything is good. Everything is good.
It did.
It passed through customs and everything like that.
Yeah. Even though I've been to Jamaica, I'm surprised I didn't have customs and excise and the police knocking on my door saying, "Why was your package so long in Jamaica?"
Well, it's a good thing, we didn't send it through Jamaica yesterday on 420. It might have got sold and smoked up. But,
yeah, very true.
So as it stands, it looks like the field is all back in line here, and again, not too much worse for the wear for the 9. I mean, the car looks like it's still in pretty decent shape. We'll try and take a look at the front of the car here, if it will let me. There we go, and a little bit wrinkled on the front. You see it, that front of the Aaron's Dream Machine just a little bit banged in the front, but unless that is down on power, I think it's the right move to just get right back out here and just kind of keep it status quo and run some more laps. We're only on lap 5 right now of 70, so you certainly don't want to use that fast repair too early.
No, absolutely not with the track temps that you got here. I think taking a fast repair this early on would be fate worse than death, if I'm brutally honest.
So we are lights out now and getting ready to go once again. It's going to be the 99 of Moultrie on the point again, but this time he's got the 54 of Paul Owens, our race reporter, pre-race reporter here, in that all-black 54, starting in second. Chris Martinez is going to be starting in third. Lance Brantlinger going to be on the outside in fourth. So Brantlinger falling back a couple spots here on the start of the race, but all in all, everybody kind of hanging out. Other than Travis Wells falling back there, obviously 10 spots, but TJ Lane up a bit too, and he was one of the faster guys in practice, started in 17th here tonight, but he is already up to 13th.
Yeah, been a bit of shock for him already. He's up from 4th, he's now up in 2nd. That was a slick move, I think, on his behalf. As we were talking about earlier, trying to run up the front, I think might be the way to go here, unless you're really confident about keeping those tyres in good condition and making those passes nice and clean. Well, up the front is where I would want to be, if I'm brutally honest.
Green flag, green flag.
And we are green flag racing again. Moultrie Jr. wasting no time, jumping right out to a nice lead as they will head into turn 1. As the field starts to spread out again, a little bit of slide up the track there. But everybody making it through nice and clean onto the backstretch.
I just saw 3 wide at the back of the field. I mean, these guys are absolutely, they are giving it their all here tonight. I must say that's a bold move, Cotton. Let's see how that works out.
Yeah, absolutely, especially on lap 6. Might be just a smidge early. But I guess we're on lap 7 now, so we're 10th of the way through this thing, so, I guess it's game on.
Any moves now? Any moves now, guys? Don't listen to me. Don't listen to me.
Nice. Patience, forget that.
Wow, yeah, you know my luck,
Yeah, and I totally understand why you want to be at the front. Yeah, with your luck, you want to try and keep as many people behind you as possible. As 9 times out of 10, you're getting collected in wrecks caused by other people, and you probably say 9.9 out of 10 the way it seems actually. But as it stands right now, these guys out there to a nice, comfortable position right now as everybody kind of spread out. A nice little train going on here, and at the front of this train is Moultrie Jr. Chris Martinez moving into 2nd place, getting around Owens on that restart. Now we got Larry Johnson moving into 4th position as Brantlinger falling back, and we have another caution. Looks like it's going to involve a few cars on the front stretch. And we'll try and take a look back. It looks like it involves the 32.
32 and a 70 by the sounds of it.
And I know this is a little bit, I think, later in the action. So we may have to just do this manually because SDK did not pick it up. So we will jump to the 32 and see exactly what happened here. And possibly the 70 of Austin Lunger coming off the corner, and either might have thought he was clear or thought the 32 was up there a little bit higher. But yeah, now it looks like the 70 just really sliding up off the corner, and of course a foot in netcode is what started that, unfortunately. They may have made contact eventually anyway, but just netcode, and unfortunately it seems to be the story more often than not here on these 1.5-mile quad ovals. Not sure if it's just, the graphics taking into account the thousands of people here in the stands or what the case is, but it always seems like it's just really an overload, I guess, on the server, on the graphics, and netcode comes into play quite a lot here. But that is what started this one. As we'll go back live here and Still under caution here. It looks like not too many people taken to pit lane, just a couple of people that were involved in the incident. So everybody is elected to stay out and keep that track position.
Yeah, I'd be taking optional right now, unless I absolutely had to actually take that fast repair. A meatball would be the only reason I would come in and take that fast repair right now. You can't go this early in, especially with this many cars. I mean, we've still got what, 20 running, 21 running. It's still, and especially with the track temp still being what it is. I mean, it's still pretty hot out there. I'm trying to find the track temp. Where is the track temp?
On here, it is not there. I can bring it up again here on the race info. It is
99.
Down to 99.
There you go.
Yep.
I mean, that's still pretty warm out here, and this is not the easiest track to get around, especially out one or two. The back end starts to break a little bit. You need to hold on to it. And coming into the tri-oval, if you're flat, and you really should be flat by the time you're coming through the tri-oval, it will get a little squirrely. So, yeah, not taking tyres as well this early, I think that's probably a good track. You don't want to be left. How many tyres does they run? One or two they normally run here. Oof. Yeah, I'd want to still be out there and not come into those pits or take a set of tyres. Yeah, I want to be out there and trying to work my way up to the front.
Just taking a run through the field here, showing you the different paint schemes on these cars that the guys have. Some of the guys just hopping on to trading paints and grabbing their favorite paint scheme, but a lot of these guys put the time in, and some people put the money in to get their own custom paint jobs done. And some of these guys looking mighty fine out there. Definitely the Cheetos machine right there from TJ Lane is one that is certainly going to stand out. Then you got Cody Lunger there, and the Shakers Bar and Grill, number 5. We are lining them up again, and we're going to get this thing going again here on lap 12.
I would like to just put a quick shout out once again to Shakers Bar and Grill and Sam's for sponsoring the event.
Couple more guys to get through. We got John O'Brien, Peter Stewart, and then it looks like the 64 of Connell did not make the field, but we are ready to go racing again, and is in control by Mike Moultrie Jr. He's got Chris Martinez on the outside. A great restart on the inside line. Moultrie is shot out of a cannon, and he is off to the races, and he pulls Paul Owens right with him there on the inside. Owens is ready for that jump as well, and they will head down the backstretch one more time. Everybody filing out, and still got 23 cars here in the race, and nobody mixed up too bad there. I mean, even that last caution right there did not really wreck too many cars. It was more just kind of sliding along and just collecting a few others. But Moultrie Jr. has not to worry about that at all, as he is out there to a 0.8 of a second lead already. And it looks like, I believe that was Austin Lunger. Yeah, Austin Lunger in pit lane getting service. Not sure what the case is, if he had a meatball or if that was a black flag that he's got served, or what the case is, but he's in the pit lane right now. Good battle for second, as Martinez is going to go around the outside of Owens, and he is going to move back into second place.
I would like to mention the nice little battle going on between Joe Guerra and TJ Lane, Christopher Pendle. Those three are absolutely giving it. They're trying definitely to catch the little cluster of cars right in front of them. Lance Bratlinger, Alexander Puig, Larry Johnson. They are trying to get into that little single line train that those guys have going. It's looking pretty good.
Yeah, it looks like they caught him, but it looks like the 94 of Pendle want to go into the high side with that very good looking autism awareness paint scheme on the 94 there, and he is going to get the pass done, as the 21 of Johnson going to back out of it. So move Pendle up to 6th place.
There's some good races throughout the whole field here. That's what I love about these guys. You don't have to be looking at the top guys to see some good racing. There's some good, clean racing all round. Very respectful. I found a lot of these drivers. I ran a couple of sessions with them off season, and I've never had an issue with them. They've always been ultra polite. A great league if you're just starting out, or if you want to get into some Gen 4 action. Gen 4 being the hot car at the moment, I couldn't recommend them highly enough.
I think the 21 of Larry Johnson would not like to recommend it right now. He was certainly struggling going through turn 1 and 2 and a little bit through 3 and 4. He was getting a little bit of a wiggle out of the back end of that car, and that drops him back a few positions. So he is now back into 10th position, dropping 4. But the man on the move, up 8 positions, is TJ Alain. Started 17th, he is up to 9th, but not to be outdone. Not too far behind him, Aubrey Thompson is up 7 positions as he started in 18th, now up to 11th. And then looking all the way up front, the 86 of Alexander Puig started in 11th. He is up into 4th position right now. But out there to over a second lead right now, 1.1, is the 99 of Moultrie.
I'm wondering if he's got enough. I'm looking at the gap. He's got just over a second on second. I wonder if that's enough to break the toe. Could he make a go of it from here? Could he leave the field? It should be interesting.
Got a little tight back here. 3-car battle. That was certainly looking like 3 wide there for a second coming off the corner, but they do sort it out. As the 59 of Guerra, the 17 of Wiles, and the 98 of Alain all over each other right now.
Did you see Alain's line in that last corner? He was so close to that wall that he could have run his fingers out on the right-hand side of that car and roughed his gloves up for a better grip on the wheel. I mean,
yeah, he's certainly a man on the mission, but the 21 of Johnson trying to get back in the mix of this thing. Looks like he finally got those tires cooled off a little bit here again, and he's starting to make a charge back up through and trying to follow Alain up through the field. But Alain now up 9 positions, up into 8th place. And not sure what's going on up front. Looked like a little bit of a shuffle there, and now you have Pendle in 4th. Puig is back into 5th as there starting some slow cars, but look at the move on the outside, basically going 3 wide as a lane, and he is on the move and gonna move himself into the top 5.
What a drive from the lane right now.
Oh, and the wall just a little bit, but he does save it as, and the 21 getting to the wall a little bit too, but he will save it as well. I think Alain is close with that paint scheme, but I think the way he's driving out there, he needs those fiery hot Cheetos.
I think you may well be right there, Carl. You may well be right.
Oh, very close there. Maybe even some contact between the 17 and 86, and they will save it. Looks like the 53 a little bit slow on the backstretch. That is Brennan Bridges. He's going to fall to the bottom and let these guys work themselves out. Big move there. Big slide by the 86, but he will collect it coming off the corner. These cars are anything but stable right now, the way it looks, Mark.
No, I couldn't agree more. I mean, the track temp is still pretty high. I mean, 98, it hasn't dropped a great deal. And the way these guys are driving, they are pushing those things. So those tyres are going to be absolutely blisteringly hot right now. I wonder if they're going too hard too soon. I don't know. I think I'll probably want to try and conserve a little bit, but somebody should probably send Alain's pit crew a message, because they're going to need asbestos guys when they take those tires off that car, because they're going to be piping hot.
Yeah, I would say so. I mean, I know we need something hot. You're supposed to drink milk. I don't know what you can do for your hands for that, but sounds like the word from pit lane is that the reason Austin Lunger came into the pits as we will have another caution. I'll finish my thought there real quick. The reason Austin Lunger is out of this race is he was having some Oculus issues and didn't want to road for the other drivers, so I'd say a gentlemanly thing to do. But you've seen the action right there as it happened. And I think it was just, it was a powder keg ready to explode for quite some time with these guys running so close. And 3-4 different lines even going through the corners, and eventually they met up. We'll take a look at that issue one more time, as it doesn't look like SDK wants to pick up any of these incidents here. And yeah, that's kind of as it happened. So we'll rewind it one more time. And we'll try and take you on another view to see if that was indeed netcode again. You see already a little bit of damage on the front of that 86 machine here for Alexander Puig. Again, another one of the guys, just like a lane that was moving up through the field pretty quickly. And see, it looks like almost contact back there between the 21 and 38. And then the 21 just gets a run and just piles into the back of the 86, unfortunately. And it put the 86 sideways. Luckily, the 17 didn't get into him again and keep him sideways. So it's like the 65 kind of blinking in and out there. Not sure if he got a piece of that or not.
Oh. Back end of that car went straight over that monster. Just straight over.
And
Lucky he didn't get more damage than what he did.
Under caution right there, the 88 getting into the back of the 9 hard. Just not realizing that these guys were braking, but everybody is taken to the pits except for, it looks like the 9 of Travis Wells, as looks to have stayed out. So maybe just staying out, getting a lap led, and then he's going to bring that thing in. But everybody else coming into the pits, that includes your leader, and Moultrie Jr. will be out there as the first one out of pit lane. Owens, Elaine, Brantlinger, Martinez are going to be your top 5, pending Wills coming into the pits here.
Would you have taken tires this early, Carl?
I think so. I think you know, we're about a third of the way through the race now. It's worth taking a set of tires now. My next set of tires, you know, if we get to that point, I mean, it all depends on how far these guys can make it on fuel. I'm probably not taking another set of tires until maybe around lap 50, 55. But I'm certainly taking tires now, because if you don't, I feel you're probably going to fall off the pace just a little bit. So we'll see how it happens. And yeah, you see the 9 now will make that left-hand turn into pit lane, and it will give the lead back to the 99 as the 53 that is up there right now. Brendan Bridges is going to get the wave around as soon as we get the one to go, as it looks like the lights are still on the truck. So pace round for one more lap before we get this thing going. But again, while we have a second, I want to thank everybody out there that is tuning in right now, that will tune in the future. And we are still climbing for senior end. Last I looked, we are up to 480 subscribers right now, and you know, 20 off the mark of 500 that we wanted to reach by the end of the year. And you guys are helping us get up to that mark halfway through the year. So we appreciate everything you guys are doing to help us get a little bit bigger and get a little bit more exposure. It helps, obviously it helps, you know, CRN out, but it ultimately helps these guys out too. All these guys that put in the time and you know, the money to get broadcasted out here, you know, whether they have sponsors, like obviously, you know, the guys here tonight having Sam's Tree Service and Shaker's Bar and Grill. But, you know, even just, you know, some of the other leagues that may not have sponsors, they just want to get their guys out there, and they want to have their friends and family watch. It's great to see, and it's awesome to be able to get it out there to more and more and more people. It seems like we're getting, you know, 10, 20 more subscribers weekly. So just want to thank all you guys out there, and don't be afraid to put in the you know, put in the comments what you're looking for, whether it's, you know, certain drivers that you want to try and watch, certain camera views that you want to see. It's I see Barry out there finally hearing the Muffin Man once we got your mic finally working again. But we are getting ready to double this thing back up.
Yeah, I would like to once again thank the sponsors of this series, Shaker's Bar and Grill, Sam's Tree Service, for for coming on board with this group and putting on the show that they put on and giving the sponsorship, which is an important part of any kind of league. These things aren't easy to keep organised. Carl could tell you all about it. He runs the league himself. He runs core race, so it's difficult. And to have good dedicated sponsors right by your side, that's always such a crucial part of racing in any form of motor racing. So yeah, my thanks go out to them.
So we are getting ready to go green once again, and it is still going to be Moultrie at the front of this field. Can anybody try and get ahead of that 99 here tonight? That 54 of Owen's going to start on the outside. Elaine now up into third, highest he's been so far. Brantlinger into fourth, Martinez into fifth, and we are just about halfway, so I think it's about time we crank these guys up for a little love to hear on the restart.
Green flag. Yellow flag.
Wow.
All right, well, so much for that, as we're going to hop right back in here, as you've seen some incidents happening right there right away, and on the restart here.
Always a possibility on the restart of fresh tyres, just a little bit of wheel spin.
Yeah, it looks like it
once these cars
that.
get a little sideways, it's so hard to keep it saved.
Trying to see where it started, and it looks like it might have been a lane. We'll try one more time here. And wow, that thing, not sure what happened. I'll take a look at that one more time, but that thing just shot straight to the right. Not sure if that was just a missed shift or what the case was, but you see the car going straight, and then all of a sudden, as soon as he gets to the start-finish line, you see the car right there just shoot directly to the right.
Wow.
And hooking the three of Brantlinger as well, and that is right in front of the entire field. The two of Martinez going through the grass, and he's going to save it. Looks like Elaine collecting the three a second time just to make sure he cleans his clock completely. And I guess maybe a good job. He's cleaning the track off right now too. But you see the the mix-up up front, of course, is going to collect a lot more guys in the back. You see the 86 getting involved, the 65 getting involved. 17 looked like he was in the wall a little bit too. So a bit of a rough start for these guys. So we will re-rack it up once again, and this will take us to the halfway point.
With a little bit of luck, hopefully they'll be able to get themselves off the line. He says with aplomb, but these things are not easy on cold tyres to get, especially when you're considering first, maybe second. Which one do you take? Do you try to get first gear to hook up so you can get that little bit of extra oomph off the start line, or do you just leave it in second and go for safety? But I mean, even second looks like it was dangerous there, because the speed they were going when they come over the line, and that car broke out. I would say he was in second, or maybe even from second to third. But oof, that was tough. Real tough break for Elaine, who'd been absolutely blistering all night, by the way. Could not believe it. It made some superb moves, came around the outside, was making that car work so well. Well, has he got real damage? Can he get the car fixed? Will he take a fast repair now, or will he just come in and take that optional and try and get the car straight? But he's going to have to do it all over again. Unfortunately, that's going to be an EOL. He'll have to start at the back and work his way right back up to the front all over again.
And going through the field, it looks like the 9 of Wells, it looks like he took his fast repair because he is nice and clean again. It looks like everybody pretty much clean and ready to go here. Still under caution for another lap. We're here on lap 34, so next time we'll start lap 35. That'll be our halfway point here in the night. 70 laps on tap for these guys. And I mean, I don't think anything too crazy on that one right there. Again, I'm assuming it was just the you know, the mix-up and shifting up through the gears. That was just that. It was really weird to see the car just snap right to the right, and a real shame. Yeah, like you said. I mean, obviously, Alain was the biggest mover. He was all the way up there and battling for second place at the time, and now he finds himself all the way back of the field in 21st. So, got a long way to go, but he's got half a race to do it. So we'll see what he can do, see how far up there he can make it once again. But the man everybody has been trying to catch all night is still at the front. That is the 99 of Mike Moultrie Jr.
It has been absolutely blistering all night, I must say. I know we haven't really featured him a great deal on the broadcast tonight, but he has been absolutely flying, pulling away from second, who happens to be Paul Owens, and most of the night has been running the second, third spot. He just seems to have had that little bit of pace on him, but now whether or not it goes through and he can keep that pace up, or whether or not he's been cooking those tyres, we'll have to wait and see. It should be interesting. Now the track is slightly dropping a little further. Track temp 94, so it's becoming a little more reasonable. Those tyres should last just a fraction longer now, or at least, well, maybe we'll actually get some green flag pit stops.
Yeah, getting to that realm where we're having to go green pretty soon to get the green flag pit stops, as they last pit on lap 27. So from there they'd have to go a good 43 laps on those tires and fuel. And again, not sure how far these guys are making it on fuel, but we will see as they are racked up once again. Moultrie on the fronts with Owens, Martinez, Johnson making up your second row, Pendle, Guerrero making up the third row, Thompson, Puig, Wiles, and Lunger making up your top 10. Then you have Stewart, Elder, Ormsby, Rude, Brennan, Muth, O'Brien, Wells, Lippincott, Brantlinger, Alain. Those are your guys on the lead lap. Then you have Brennan Bridges, who is 4 laps down. Austin Lunger, 17 laps down out of the race. And then Connell did not make the start here. But starting the race once again, it is Moultrie from the front, and he is on the loud pedal, back racing here at Charlotte. Owens getting a good jump and actually staying with him a bit here on the outside as they will dive off into turn 1.
Back of the pack looks absolute chaos right now.
Yeah, just a little bit.
Yeah, I don't know exactly. I saw somebody up on the right side. I didn't catch the car number, but yeah, the back of the poke looked like they're trying to sort themselves out. They're getting their act together now. There's a nice little mid-pack single file run happening right now as well. Yeah, it's all going on. It's all happening. These guys are going to give me a heart attack at some point. I'm going to need CPR.
So you're saying I don't need to mute you before the race. These guys are fired up enough. All right, now I know going forward. I'll get your mic going right away. All right. Well, again, we are past the halfway now, so we'll try it one more time, and we will go radio silent here, crank these guys up, and give you guys a little love to hear it.
Yellow flag.
And unfortunately, I think we're the other bearer of bad news here when we go to the love to hear it, as another caution is going to come out right there, and we'll try and take a look at what caused it.
I think we're going to need to change this from love to hear it to love to see it.
Yeah.
Because,
I mean, we've seen the smoke go along right in front of the start-finish line there.
yeah, right in front of the booth.
9 getting off track right there. That is not what caused the caution. Take a look at Daniel Wiles back here. And there it is. Contact with the 59. And looks like he's going to lock it up, and everybody going to get around him. So good job by the other drivers. And he does stay locked down right there, and that's exactly what you should do when you get sideways and under caution here. Lets everybody go by, and then you see it right there. He gets it fired back up. And I haven't really talked too much about Wiles here tonight. Obviously, we did before the race as he came in as the points leader and does have the win on the season there, but was running pretty decent right there, trying to make it pass on the 59 of Guerra, but did not clear him coming off the corner, and unfortunately cleared himself into the wall. Puts us under another caution here tonight. Looks like not too many people, really any other than Travis Wells coming into pit lane. And I guess not really surprising. It's only on lap 40 here. You only had about 13 laps on your tires, and not really that many under green. So you don't want to use that other set of tires. And double check here in the info real quick. They have 2 fast repairs, and I'm trying to see about the tire limits. And actually, they have 3 sets of tires. So, I mean, that makes it kind of interesting here. I mean,
I was just about to say the exact same thing, Carl. My brain sort of like leapt from one thing to another. It was like, would I come in now, put a fresh set on, knowing that, you know what? I think I might. I think I would, Carl. I think I'd be in right now. I'd be taking in another set.
Yeah, especially if you're back there in the, you know, 14th on back, you know, O'Brien, Brantlinger, Ormsby range. I think I might be taking a chance coming in there, getting the fresh tires, getting enough fuel to make it to the end if you don't have it by now, and yeah, trying to use them and make your way up through the field. Obviously, you don't want to take away track position, because track position seems to be pretty big with the cautions, breeding cautions here a little bit tonight. But I mean, yeah, with 3 sets of tires, I would take a chance, grab a set of tires now, and you know, best case scenario for you, it goes green all the way, and you can use those tires the rest of the way to try and work your way up through the field. You know, I guess worst case scenario, another caution comes out late in the race, you still have the other set of tires, so you still have that, you know, kind of backup right there. But either way, like I said, not too many people have taken to pit road, so we'll see how everything shakes out. But it's still the 99 up front. 54 is going to be starting in 2nd place. 2 of Martinez in 3rd, 21 of Larry Johnson in 4th, 94 of Pendo moving up now into 5th, Guerra up into 6th, Puig in 7th, 8th place is Aubrey Thompson, 9th is Peter Stewart, and 10th is Cody Lunger.
Do you think the crew chiefs are eating ice cream right now? Is that why they haven't come in?
It very well could be, but I mean, under a bunch of these caution laps, I think I'd, if I'm not coming in for tires, I think I'm coming in for a little freeze pop myself, you know, just cool off a little bit.
Yep.
This track temperatures were up at 100 degrees, so, you know, it's a little toasty inside that car, too. So I guess maybe ice cream isn't a good idea, you know, because that thing's going to melt real quick and you're going to get all sticky in there, and it's going to be rough. But
maybe it's going to go without having enough trouble getting around the track as it is. But I don't want to quote too many famous films with little short men and redheads in it. So I'm just going to leave it like that, and I'm not going to say no more.
So I got some time here. One of the races that's coming up that you'll see some of the guys here from CRN taking part of is the Nürburgring 24-hour. It's it's a beast of a track, 150 plus corners, and 24 hours worth of it is just an absolute brutal test. And myself and Mark are going to be on one of the teams for sure, and it's brutal. I mean, the 24-hour race is bad enough, but I mean, you have 24-hour race in Daytona. It's I don't want to say it's easy, but you know, it's a lot of muscle memory. I mean, the length of Daytona compared to Nürburgring is what, about maybe 10, 15 times longer is Nürburgring. It's just, and you know, you drive it long enough, you know the corners, and you can probably drive it like the back of your hand. And I can probably visually go through all the corners right now myself. But doing it for 24 hours, granted you're not in the car that whole time, but even keeping your focus for an hour or two at a time when you're in the car is not that easy. So you know, it's these races obviously aren't 24 hours, but you know, when you got these cautions is kind of why I'm bringing that up. Like, you still need to keep your focus, and a lot of times if you don't get into a groove and you don't get into some long green flag runs, sometimes you can lose focus, and that's where you have some of the issues where, you know, maybe you push a little bit harder than you remember that the car can take. You push a little bit harder going up through the gears, and it steps a little bit loose on the restarts. So you need to have laser focus this entire time. So far, Moultrie has had that, and especially on these restarts. We'll see if he has it one more time, as he is once again on the loud pedal and back racing here. Good start from both the guys on the front row, as Owens is easily going to jump into second place. But Moultrie again shot out like a cannon. The 21 of Johnson was in the wall just a little bit. And it looks like everything will get sorted out as we head now down the backstretch.
The 86 and Roll on the three top lipping. Well, those two guys, you couldn't have got a dollar bill in between the two of them when they were coming in at 1-2. They were so close, I thought they were touching. I thought he was pushing him around that corner. Sorry, what I was going to say, was the phrase cautions breed cautions?
Yes.
That's what
Yep, absolutely. Unfortunately, it's been a little bit of the case here tonight, and typically, you know, the reason for that is when you have a caution, what happens? Everybody groups back up. So, you know, that nice little stretch out of cars being kind of stretched out across the whole track, that's not the case anymore. Now, instead of having, you know, 23 cars over, you know, a half mile, you have all those 23 cars over a quarter mile, and everybody's going for the same real estate, and that's where another caution can easily come right back out. So you want to get at least, you know, 5, 10, 15 laps under green here to kind of stretch out the field a little bit, and hopefully we'll get to see that now. Hopefully these guys run this thing out to the end, and I know Moultrie would certainly like to see that. Martina is making a nice pass there to move into second place over Owens. As we take a look back through the field here, Aubrey Thompson trying to move that Chips Ahoy machine back up there, as he's got Larry Johnson right in front of him. Johnson's been scraping the outside wall there a little bit with that Miller Lite machine, but still has it up there in 6th place.
Brightlinger and Guerrero have been running really close side by side as well. They're being an impressive. Sorry, Cody Lania and Guerrero have been running really close next to each other, giving each other a lot of room, giving each other a bit of respect. Cody been trying to run that high line. He's been making it work for him. He's been having a good run out of 1-2.
Is one of the closest battles on the track here, and for those that are new to the overlays here on SDK, you notice the yellow intervals right there are you know, battles that are somewhat close. The ones that are in orange are kind of imminent battles that you know, they're within a half a second, and they're very close to being side by side. And then obviously in white it's stretched out a little bit, so you see that this entire field's still pretty close to each other, as you got a couple guys making their way up through the field. Obviously, Aubrey Thompson, talked about him. He has a Chips Ahoy machine up there into 5th place right now. Started in 18th, so he's up 13 positions. Another man on the move is Peter Stewart, the 91. Haven't talked much about him in the Cinnamon Toast Crunch machine. He is up 11 spots, but the man on the inside is trying to gain the most positions here tonight, as he went from the back to the front once and trying to do it again, and that is TJ Lane in the Cheetos car, as he is up 8 spots from the start of the race. But you know, if you remember, at one point he was all the way up there battling for second, fell all the way back to 21st and had to regroup, and now starting to make his moves back up through the field, and now making a move to the inside of Stewart.
Yeah, the man on a mission is Mr. Elaine here. He certainly seems to have the pace. He's been running multiple lines. I've been watching him go around. He seems to be able to put that car wherever he kind of needs it, which at this stage in the race I think is really, really important. I don't know whether he's got enough time, because Moultrie is absolutely starting to check out once again, putting a 1.2, 1.1 second gap between him and Martinez.
A little bit of a slide there in the quad oval from the 13 of Elder as he had to go through the grass, but did save it, and we stay under green here. We're in lap 52 here, so it'll be 18 to go at the line, and I think Moultrie is finally happy. These laps are starting to click off here. He's got about almost a 1.5 second lead over Martinez now, as he's really starting to open that thing up. Owens trying to keep with Martinez, but he's starting to slip back there a little bit in third. Pendle is now starting to catch up ever so slightly as he is in fourth place, trying to reel these guys in. Then he got on the second back to Thompson in fifth. Half a second back to Johnson in sixth. And you got Alain still trying to make his way up through the field. He's now up to seventh position. Puig is in eighth. Stewart up 10 spots to ninth. And then Rantlinger started up there in second place and really hasn't been too much of a threat ever since, unfortunately, and just kind of slid back a couple times. Obviously getting in the little mix-up with Alain earlier did not help the situation, so finds his way up into the top 10 right now, but you know he's got the speed and he wants to get that Copenhagen car up a little bit further in the field right now.
Caution, yellow flag.
And we will have another yellow flag.
I think that was Brennan. Oh, I think that was Brennan.
Trying to see where it happened. Oh, big accident right there. Let's take a look at it one more time, and it looks like the 17 gets into the 59, and I believe there's a little deja vu, but hard impact into the outside wall, and if he's got a faster pair left, he's certainly going to have to use one on that one, as that was a huge impact from your points leader, Wiles, and the 59 of Guerra having a big impact as well, and then coming down the track, collecting the 32 as well. So those pit crews are going to have to put down the popsicles now and get to work, as these cars are certainly going to be coming in for service, but the entire field is also coming in.
16 to go. With you want that last set. Do you take your fast repair now? Do you hope that it goes clean to the end? Everybody's going to be pushing, I think. I'm not sure. I think I'll probably want to hold on to that fast repair if I possibly could, because I'm not sure that this is going to go green to the end, Carl.
Yeah, it's a toss-up for me. What I'm doing here, it's going to be tough either way. I mean, I think I'm probably, if I'm damaged enough, you know, if I got probably more than 50 seconds worth of damage, I'm taking that fast repair. If it's enough that I can get a good chunk of it repaired here under caution, maybe I'll hold on to it. But yeah, it's just about go time, and once we get back going here, it's going to be close to the 12 laps to go or so, and it is certainly go time. But it looks like we got a couple of guys that elected to stay out here. Now we'll see if they continue to stay out or if they come into pit lane this time by. Travis Wells last pitted on lap 40. So there's a good chance that he can still make it on fuel. He's only going to make that car last 30 laps on fuel, so I could see that happening. Lippincott Jr. is in second place right now, and Elder is in third. Both those guys pitted on lap 28 and 27 respectively, so you assume that these guys got to come into the pits. The 17 out there waiting to try and get a wave around, but looks like that might not be the case, as the 9 of Wells is indeed going to stay out. So interesting strategy call here, as looks like Elder, the 13, is going to stay out as well. So that means your leader here of Moultrie now has a little bit of traffic in front of him, and they got some older tires that they're trying to limp these things back to the end of the race. So this could get very interesting for Moultrie. Looks like Chris Martinez is going to be the second one in line with new tires. Paul Owens, Chris Pendle, Larry Johnson, Aubrey Thompson, Alain, and Stewart going to make up your top 10.
I don't know if I'd want to try and get one of these cars off of that start line on 20, well, what are they now, 30 lap old tyres or so? That's going to be interesting, especially with the lead, with what was the leading pack behind them on fresh rubber. Yeah, this start's going to be real interesting. I just hope that they manage to get it away clean.
I guess one way or another we will find out here. But it is going to be the 9 of Wells that is going to start this thing from the front. The 13 of Elder going to be starting in second place. Again, Wells pit on lap 40, Elder on lap 27, so both these guys certainly on some used tires compared to the rest of the field. Everybody else electing to take a set of tires. Looks like Lippincott back there in 17th and O'Brien back there in 18th, only electing for fuel only. But we are going to get them racked up here. Once again, we are going to start lap 58, so there's going to be 12 laps to go when they take the green flag here once again. And really, I mean, you know, considering the amount of cautions that we had, we've only had, you know, a few times where it's stretched out a little bit and gone green. These guys like Wells and Elder, maybe, you know, playing the hand that they're dealt, and, you know, they don't have the speed to kind of keep up and or pass these guys up at the front. So this is what they got to try. They got to try and have a strategy call, and, you know, maybe you get some cautions right after the green flag and keep themselves right up at the front of this thing, and won't even really have to run this thing out until you get the green white checkers.
Actually, I think that's a smart move. Right now, I would want to be out the front. I don't know if I'd want to be out the front on really used tyres, but I'd want to be out the front. As you say, with this many laps to go, people are going to start pushing. As we said before, cautions, precautions. It could be one of those. It could be one of those where it's just going to be a caution fest towards the end. I hope it isn't, and I have a lot of faith in the drivers here. I think that they can make it if they get themselves organised quickly. But the starts are going to be real tricky, especially with the front two on used tyres. How this pans out, I'm not quite sure, Carl.
9 of Wells on the front, the 13 of Elder joining him, Martinez, Moultrie, Owens making up your top 5. Who you got out there? 12 laps to go. Who you rooting for? Who you think's going to get this thing done? Whether it's going to be used tires or not. Rough start by the outside. They bunch up a little bit. The 9 gets a good enough start to get to the start-finish line, but that's about it until Moultrie eats him alive. And here comes the 54 of Owens as well. So the 9 going to start falling back, and we do have a caution already, as I think that the little bit of a bunch up on the outside is certainly a contributing factor. And
I think it was in there as well somewhere.
Big impact there. Looks like Muth getting into the back of the 91, heading into the corner. And right there, yeah, the 91 just a little bit slow. Muth gets into the back of him, down into the 65. 88 getting involved as well, and Wiles looks like he finally makes it through a caution for once. The 1 hammering into the back of the 32, so a little bit of a big one here late in the race, and this is going to take us down a lot closer to the end now. And Moultrie has moved himself back into the lead. Owens in second. But yeah, unfortunately, everybody, these cautions are just a little bit too many tonight to get these guys out there and have some green flag runs. We're going to be having a short little run to the end here at best. But, you know, as is, you know, the case sometimes here, especially at Charlotte, you get these Gen 4 cars out there, and they've got a ton of power, but it's a track like this that has a ton of grip, and the track temperature's coming down. It's just getting more and more grippy, and it allows these guys to just keep with each other, which is great to see. You know, it provides a lot of great racing, but unfortunately, close quarters means it's going to be really rough. You make one little mistake, and it's a big one.
Yeah. And as we've seen before, trying to get these things off the line, especially with some used tyres, is not easy. As we talked about before, that outside lane bunching up maybe caused a little bit of disruption to the rest of the field, and it's not easy to try and pick your way through. I mean, the track's 3 lanes wide, but when you have one car sideways, that's 1 lane gone, and then they're moving into somebody else, that's the 2nd lane gone. You really have very little option. You can either take the I'm going high and just keeping my foot in it, hoping they drop down the track, or you can just try and go for the bottom and try and move around. It's a tough call. I don't have to. I have zero luck. I can't comment on any of this stuff because if there's an accident, I'm normally in it somewhere, so I can't really comment on that. But with some of the banking around here at Charlotte, I think I would probably want to take the higher side.
Yeah, it just gives you usually a little bit more options. Sometimes if you're down there on the bottom, it may be the faster lane, but you can get pitched down there as well, at least on the outside or middle lane. You have some options to kind of move around a little bit, and it just makes you feel a little bit more free and not constrained. You see the 17 there of Wiles, your points leader, getting the wave around here as the lucky dog, so he's going to rejoin the field on the lead lap, but he's back there in 20th. So certainly the points lead is not looking good to head out of here and on to Bristol next week.
Bristol. Man, I have a love-hate relationship with that track. It loves to hate me.
Yeah, it does that for a lot of people, unfortunately. And they got 135 laps on tap for that one. As that will be race number 4 for these guys. Again, right now an 8-race season with potential of having the playoffs in there as well. So you'll have Bristol next week. The following week is the wild card drivers vote, so the drivers will be voting between North Wilkesboro, the Daytona Roval, Michigan, or Bristol Dirt. So we could see Bristol back-to-back potentially if they choose the Dirt, the Daytona Roval. Yeah, exactly. Then the,
if I had a vote, that's where I'd be going, Daytona Roval. I'm just saying.
Well, you're a road
I'm just
man.
saying.
You're a roadie.
Well, yeah, but I mean, even so, I mean, Daytona Roval, I'm not sure. I've never tried a road track with these cars. Well, it'd be interesting. I don't know if I'd want to actually, seeing some of the grip issues that they're having tonight. I mean, trying to get that thing out of any corner, I think could be a real issue. A Roval track, especially Daytona Roval. I mean, that's just wow. Yeah, maybe not. Don't listen to me. I'll take it back. I'll take it all back.
All of a sudden, Bristol Dirt sounded a little bit better for you. Just a little. So, I mean, yeah, again, while we have time, we're grouping it back up here, getting ready to go green here, and it's going to be 7 laps to go at the line, but I'll ask you first, of all the specialty events, I mentioned we got the Nürburgring 24 coming up here. What's your favorite special event to race in on iRacing?
Oh, you know me, I'm a road guy. I love the endurance events, and we've had great success at Sebring. And I do like that track because it punishes you if you get it wrong. But I do like Nürburgring. I do like it. I know.
Mark, you were literally breaking up, and it's not because we were talking about Nürburgring. You were actually breaking up there a little bit. We might have lost you. You're still roboting in a little bit. Oh, there we go. Now we're good again.
There we go.
You just gotta get a little grumpy. That's it.
Yeah. Sorry, I just took growl at the microphone. Nürburgring or Sebring. We've had great success in both.
Having great success here tonight is Moultrie Jr., and he's on the loud pedal one more time. We're green flag racing here. 7 laps to go here at Charlotte. Owens again getting another good jump from the outside. Seems like we're talking about these two all race long. Up front, the 9 of Wells hanging in there a little bit, but he's got a challenger right behind him. Larry Johnson finds his way up into 4th place and now going to challenge. Looks like he's going to look to the outside here of the 9 of Wells, but I think a good strategy call from the 9 here, staying out there on those used tires, keeping him up here in the mix, but man, he has got a swarm of bees coming up behind him. You got a lane jumping into the picture right there. Brantlinger on the inside. Thompson is up there as well. Puig is up there. This is going to get very interesting. We'll stick with this crew right now as Moultrie is out there, not by much though, only by a quarter second in front of Owens. But the battle is back here, and it's, I mean, throw a blanket over about 6 or 7 positions right now. Oh, and there's another contact right there. Almost an unbelievable save, but you got guys flying into pit lane. And that is going to bring out another one. Unfortunately, we've seen that one live again. And I think it's going to mainly involve here a lane.
Yeah, I think so.
And of course, SDK did not pick that up again, so we're just going to rewind it. We're going to go old school here. And yeah, it looks like the 98 just getting hooked onto that bottom, and you see just has those tires down there on that paint, and the 3 actually getting a little loose there too. See the 3 sideways a bit already, that 98 getting into the back of him, and I thought for a second here Brantlinger was going to have an unbelievable save. He gets that thing straightened back out, but then back end just kicks a little bit again, snaps him down into the 2. The 38 gets loose on the high side, tries to save it, but he ends up collecting the 86 and the 94. A couple of those guys got sent down pit lane, so hopefully the admins will at least clear their cautions. But another big one here, and that's going to take us into green, white, checkered territory.
Yeah, honestly, I think the way that Moultrie's been making these starts, well, I don't know if anybody's going to be able to catch him. I really don't.
So how do you feel about Wells' decision now, Mark, as he is still in 3rd place, still nursing those tires that he got back on lap 40? Looking like a pretty good decision now.
I think it might have been a genius move, in all honesty. I really do. I mean, he's been getting off the line well enough to be able to hold his position. So I think if he can just hold on to it for a little longer, I think he might have it. But I mean, he's got guys with fresh tyres making their way up closer and closer and closer. So as long as he can keep his line, not lose out on too much off the start line, and hug that bottom and make the other guys try and go around him, I don't know. I think he actually might make it.
Let me preemptively apologize to Wells for the broadcaster's curse of saying that he may have a good finish here. I just in case, I just want to throw it out there. I'm certainly hoping he can make this thing to the end.
There you go. I've counted it already. I mean, it could all go terribly wrong for him. Now,
yeah, well, I'll say that this was a horrible decision. I think he's going to fall back right now. So that we got everything covered. So we're good to go again. But yeah, as of right now, it looks like a good decision. But it looks like we are going to be into overtime here, as we are on lap 68 right now. Going to start lap 69 next time by, and I don't think we're going to hit the 1 to green next time by. I think it's still going to be 2 to green this time by. So. We will certainly get into some overtime racing here at Charlotte, as it's going to go longer than 70 laps. I mean, it very well could be the one to go this time by, but it's still going to be a green, white checker. So I think either way we're going to go into overtime. And yeah, pace car or pace truck lights are still on. So overtime here in the Redline Racing Gen 4 series here on race 3 at Charlotte.
It's going to be interesting, Carl. It's going to be real interesting. As I say, I mean, I think Moultrie might just have it if he can get that car away as clean as he has been. I know Paul Owens has been getting away with him and been trying to stay with him, but Moultrie just seems to have had the pace most of the evening. But what's going to fascinate me is whether or not Wells is going to be able to hold off the rest of the field, and they are going to be coming. They are going to be absolutely steaming behind him, trying to get that move done. Yeah, I'm not sure I'd want to be in that car right now. Let me just put it like that.
Well, the thing is, I mean, Moultrie is the control car, so he's going to get off there. He's going to get the best jump unless he spins the tires or has any kind of issues shifting or something like that. So he's it's all on him to get the best start as possible. Owens has been getting decent enough starts to at least stay with him and keep him honest, and he kept him within a quarter second that last time by. But my eyes are going to be right here on this 98. He's got a little bit of damage in the front, so not sure if that's going to affect the handling or how much it's going to affect the aero, but he has certainly been a man that knows how to pass some cars here tonight, and he's passed out quite a few here tonight. If somehow this ends up being a quick green, white checkered, and we get another caution before they take the white flag, if Elaine somehow can find a way around the 21 and the 9 and move himself into 3rd place, that second green, white checker could get very, very interesting. But as it stands right now, pace truck lights are out. We're ready for some overtime racing here in the Redline Racing series. And it is Moultrie out front like he's been pretty much this entire night. But the rest of the field is right there and wanting to dethrone him once and for all. But green, white checkered, you got 99 up front, Owens in second, Wells, Johnson, Elaine, your top 5, Pendle, Puig, Muth, Rude, and Stewart, your top 10. Cody Lunger, Ormsby, Wiles, O'Brien, Elder, Thompson, Martinez, Lippincott are your men on the lead lap. Brantlinger 1 lap down in 19th, as is Brennan in 20th. And then you got Guerra. Brennan looks like he is out of the race now. Guerra, Bridges, Lunger, Austin Lunger that is, and Connell. All those guys are out of the race, but we are getting ready to go green one more time. Pace truck is coming out of turn 3 and 4. And now going to make that left-hand turn onto pit road. It's in the hands once again of Moultrie. And again, a great restart from the 99. The 54 staying right with him, and maybe even more so this time on the restart, as he is certainly right there. And we'll keep our eyes trained on this for once, as they're certainly mixing it up back there. And another caution could still be in play, but the 54 trying to keep pace with the 99 here. You know, both of these guys are going all out right now. Damn the tires, you don't need them anymore. And coming to the white flag. Next flag will end it. White flag in the air here at Charlotte.
It's looking good. I try definitely to keep up with Moultrie. He's got that bottom line on top. Can he get a decent run off the top? I'm not sure that he's got enough time to make it happen.
Take you on board with Owens heading into the final corner here. Going to try and send it in there, but not going to get close enough. Mike Moultrie is going to be the man here at Charlotte, getting it done for the win. Owens in second. Johnson doing a great job finishing in third. Pendle going to finish fourth. Elaine in fifth. Puig in sixth. Stewart in seventh. Muth, Thompson, Rude, Martinez, Lunger, O'Brien, Elder, Wiles, Lippincott. Wells falls all the way back to 17th. We'll take a look at that here in a second. Ormsby is going to be in 18th, and then Brantlinger, your last one running there in 19th. Heck of a run there from Owens to try and get it close, but Moultrie was just too good to beat here tonight. We'll take a look back here on the last couple laps here for Wells and show you exactly what happened. As gets a decent restart here, but the guys just start piling around him on the outside, and already back there into 5th place. And you see those tires maybe just getting a little bit angry. Was getting a little bit sideways already going through the corner. Still hanging on, but the damage was certainly done here on the last lap. Slides up the track there. And I'm not sure where I've seen it, but it was not a fun ride sliding it back through the field here for the 9. As trying to block for his dear life, but unfortunately slides up the track right in front of the 8. Gets him into the wall, and sometimes when those cars get on the wall, they're just stuck. And you see that's exactly what the case was here for Wells, and an unfortunate finish here after he made a pretty daring strategy call.
Yeah, daring. Almost paid off. If he'd have had maybe 5-10 lap fresher tires, maybe it would have panned out for him, because he still looked like he had decent pace on the last 2 restarts. I think just going that extra 4 or 5 laps might have just been the turning point, because as we talked about before, when those tires drop off a cliff, they absolutely fall off a cliff. You go from having some grip to having absolutely none, and you need some round here. Even with the banking of these ovals, it will just drift up the track, and that is what it looked like happened for the man. I feel really bad for him, because it looked like a genius strategy call towards the end. Unfortunately, it just didn't pay off.
So just trying to grab our third place finisher here of Larry Johnson, and just waiting for him. But heck of a race here from these guys. I mean, yeah, we certainly would have loved to see a little bit more green flag runs, but all in all, I think it was a good drive by these guys, especially at the end. They certainly made it interesting, and a few different strategies certainly put the whole race in the mix there. And even looking at it right there, looks like that was after the race. I was going to say Alexander Puig made it a late pit strategy, but we did have a couple guys back there in the field pitting under the last caution there, and they were able to make their way up through the field a little bit too, and just having that extra security of those fresh tires. But never really had to worry about fuel strategy. Never had to worry about tires too much here, and Moultrie didn't have to worry about too much here tonight, as he was just the man to beat out here.
Yeah, couldn't agree more. An impressive display. Every time we saw him, he seemed to be putting 2-3 tenths on the guys behind him. He had this track absolutely nailed down. That car was absolutely on rails. It looked like class of the field today. I'd like to shout out to Paul Owens. He was there or thereabouts most of the evening, and I actually thought for a little while on that last lap, he looked like he had a decent run coming out of 3-4. I wasn't sure maybe he would get that slingshot and at least put the pressure on, force a mistake, but unfortunately just was not quite close enough, which is a real shame, because another great drive from Paul Owens and Larry Johnson, who we haven't really spoken about much of tonight. But he worked his way up through the field. He was smart about it. Was always in the right place at the right time. Made it work for him. It was an impressive display.
Well, you were talking about him. We'll go ahead and bring him in the booth now. It looks like, unfortunately, we don't have Larry with us, the third place finisher, at least at this point. If he hops in here, we'll get him in here for an interview. But Mark, why don't you go ahead and take our second place finisher here at the 54, Paul Owens.
Hello.
Hello, Paul. Mark up in the booth. You were unfortunate, I thought, tonight. Moultrie was quick, though. I mean, he was absolutely blistering out there. But you were with him pretty much the whole night. Do you think that you could have taken it at the end?
Yeah, the first lap after the green going in the 3 and 4, I took it a little easy, and he gained 2 tenths on me or so, and then just couldn't get it back, because by the time we got out of 4, I was only a tenth off of him. So if I didn't do that, I feel like there could have been a shot, but I'm still happy with the points day.
Yeah, a great race, clean run. Do you think staying up front was the right call for you tonight? Because it looked like there was some issues further back down the field.
Yeah, absolutely. I felt like still kind of everyone's new to the league yet, new to these cars and the high horsepower. So I felt like there's going to be a medium amount of cautions, like I said, in the pre-race. So I kind of felt like staying up front would be the best call to get the job done.
Yeah, and what about pit strategy? What did you go with tonight? Were you... I think it was 56 or 58. Did you take your second set then and save a set for the end, or did you take your second set early?
Yeah, my plan was pit stops at lap 30 and 60, and it just so happened there's a caution on lap 26 or 27, and that was perfect. And then at 57 or 58, like you said, and that was also perfect. So I took my my tires on those pit stops, and then just ran it hard to the end.
Very, very, very nice. For now, down to Dover next week. Are we going to see the same from you again, running it out the front?
Is it? I thought it was Bristol.
Yeah,
so
it's Bristol.
It's Bristol. Okay.
Bristol. Dover,
yeah, Bristol's a track I love, and it's a short track, so I'll definitely want to be up front there. So probably see something similar here, and hopefully Carl likes broadcasting short tracks. I know they're his favorite. And
I actually enjoy Bristol. I actually enjoy Bristol.
Bristol? Why can't we have Martinsville?
Well, because it doesn't have any banking, and it actually sucks for passing.
It has a couple of degrees.
It has one, maybe 1.5. I'll give you that, but I won't argue. He had a good finish here tonight. He had a good second place, and yeah, just kind of not enough. It looked like Moultrie really had this thing nailed down. But do you think anything would have changed possibly if he had some green flag runs?
Probably a little bit, because I fell back to third, and then I would catch up and then start catching Michael there at the end of those green flag runs that we had. So that might have helped a little bit, and I make up times on pit stops, and so that probably would have helped, but I don't know if it would have been enough.
Well, either way, a second place is a good showing here for you. And I know you may not be running for the points, but it's still a good finish, and you got to be happy about it. So, anyway, I want to give a shout out to or thanks to before we let you go.
You guys up in the booth, can't thank you guys enough. You put on a great broadcast and great interviews, so thank you guys.
All right, that is your second place finisher, the 54 of Paul Owens. And we will bring in now our winner here tonight, and that is the 99 of Mike Moultrie. And Mike, I mean, just a kind of a ho-hum day. I mean, you had to deal with a bunch of cautions, but not really too many drivers breathing down your neck. You seem to really have that 99 hooked up here tonight.
Yeah, the car was good, man. I'm still shaking. Paul in that 54, those last couple laps, he was driving me hard, racing me real hard. Didn't think I could hold him off, but luckily I did, and got it done.
So, I mean, all in all, obviously, you got the win, so you can't complain about how the race went, I guess, necessarily. But would you have liked to see this thing stretch out on green, or do you feel like you had a better car just on these short runs?
The car was actually real good on the long runs. It could have went, green longer. I just would have had to, conserve more tire. But, I mean, it is what it is. At the end of the day, it played out in my favor because the tire and the fuel, came out to my strategy. So I'm all good with it. My teammate won last week. I wasn't able to show up to the last race and had to show out today.
Yeah, so back-to-back wins for the team, and now you guys head to Bristol. So how's the short track program for your team?
Oh, we're good. We love short tracks.
There you go. Nice and simple, nice and easy.
Yeah, no worries here.
So, I mean, that puts you two top fives here on the season. Obviously, you get the win here tonight, and then you had the top five there at Daytona to start the season. Missing last week put you back behind the eight ball a little bit, but do you feel like you have some time still to scratch your way back into this title hunt?
Oh, of course. We've got a lot of racing left. Me and Daniel are, we're real strong. So I have no worries in the world. I think every race we're going to be up front, racing for the win, unless something happens. But we'll get to that point when we get there. But now I'm very confident in both our cars to run up front every week.
Yeah, I don't know if once you talk to Daniel, if he'll have the same words for you. As he seemed like if anything happened, he was involved in it tonight. Just a rough night there for the 17, but still found a way to fight his way back up and finish in 15th. But certainly has the speed, and already got it done once, and wouldn't be surprised if we'd see both you guys battling for a win at some point during the season. But a good win here tonight, and I mean it's got to feel good that you. I mean, yeah, I guess, again, if you want to bring in the cautions, it wasn't necessarily just you out there dominating the whole time. But, I mean, you were in control the entire race, and you dominated, and nobody was able to pass you out there other than guys staying out there under caution.
Yeah, man, I'm going to say it again. Paul had me nervous. That was some good racing. He kept me on my toes every lap. I mean, sometimes you just got to have that position, be out in front, But, I mean, both our cars were real good and just happened to be in front of them today.
Well, it certainly worked out for you. You got the win here tonight and back-to-back for ARCA Racing over there. So before we let you go, anybody you want to give a shout-out to or thanks to?
Thanks to everybody that put this league together. It's coming along good, strong, and hopefully the rest of the season goes, how it did tonight. A little less cautions, but it's going good so far.
All right, well, congrats again on your win. We'll let you go hook up with Daniel and celebrate your victory.
All right, thanks, man. You guys have a good night.
You too, buddy.
Congrats, buddy.
That is driver of the 99, your winner here tonight, Michael Moultrie Jr. And yeah, back-to-back wins here for ARCA Racing. The team is certainly got some speed out there, and again, both of these guys, I guess, since Michael wasn't here last week, the team going into tonight was perfect on top fives. Unfortunately, Wiles had a bit of a rough night, as we mentioned, and wasn't able to get a top five or a top 10 here tonight. But his teammate finds victory lane here in that good-looking 99 machine. That is. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Mark.
Sorry, Cole. Yeah, I think those two drivers are going to be ones to look out for. Strong team. They seem to have pretty much everything covered. Daniel obviously excelled at Daytona, so he could be a bit of a super speedway specialist. And well, it sounds like our man in the 99 loves a bit of short track racing, so I think they might have it all covered. Should be interesting.
That's going to do it for these tracks over a mile. As you know, we started at Daytona with 2.5 mile. You got Darlington at 1.33 mile, and here at Charlotte 1.5. Next week we got Bristol and 135 laps on tap, and then after that you have the wild card race. And I mean, there's only one track that is a choice there, and that is Michigan at 2 miles. But the other ones you have are the half mile of North Wilkesboro, the road course of the Roval at Daytona, or the Bristol Dirt. So good chance we won't see anything over a mile until we get to Talladega on May 12th, which obviously another super speedway. Yeah. It could get very dangerous. And then Mark, then we go to Dover. So Dover is on the schedule just a little bit later.
Yeah. Yes, okay. Yes, thank you. Thank you.
So hopefully by Dover, I can get your mic working right away, and we get your voice in here right off the bat before these guys out here start yelling at me even more. But fun race out here tonight, and it's cautions sometimes breed cautions, and there's only so much you can do, and these guys are still kind of feeling each other out, and sometimes, especially with new leagues, you have to get used to the other people and how they drive and how they react to what's going on in front of them, and how they take their different lines, how they brake differently. There's a lot of variables that go into place, and it sometimes takes 3, 4, 5 races into the season until you kind of get a feel for everybody. So hopefully these guys get it cleaned up. We got Bristol next week, and it is a short track, but it's got enough banking there that there's a good chance you can still see multi-line racing there. So make sure you tune into that one next week. Our next broadcast is going to be tomorrow night, as Dylan has the NSR League. Sunday nights, the Premier Series playoffs continue at Lime Rock with the Legends. Should be very, very interesting there. Monday nights at the Core GT Series. Tuesday nights is going to be a triple header this week, as you have the ARCA Menards, the Truck Series, both for Core, and then a specialty event as UCRL will have their Gen 4 Series broadcasted this week. And then Wednesday night, the SSLMS Series for Dylan, and then back out here with these guys next Friday night. We hope you guys enjoyed the broadcast out here. If you haven't yet, please make sure you like and subscribe. Thank you once again to W Energy for being a sponsor for us here at CRN. Thank you to Sam's Tree Service and Shaker's Bar and Grill for being sponsors out there for Redline Racing. But for myself and Mark here at Charlotte, we'll see you at the track.
Been a pleasure. Take care, people.